I get this a lot from guys who have been dating casually for years. I don't see myself ever being able to settle down, again, the settle down myth, settling down with one woman because I can't give up the variety. But then they're saying this because it's in the context of, so if somebody who's really happy with their casual dating success never says this, they never begin that conversation. It's always in the context of, I'm not actually happy and I would really like a long-term relationship, but I don't see myself ever settling down because I can't commit, because that would mean that I would be cutting myself off from all of these other hookups, right? So that what's happened when they started this process of, I would love to meet the right woman, they ended up taking the just settle down myth or taking the optimizing for casual dating approach or strategy, which actually fucked them up. Like, I'm trying not to swear on this. They actually screwed them up for long-term success. And now they are in fact screwed up for long-term success. And to bring them back to earth, right, is that because they've just taken off on that balloon way too far out of the stratosphere. They don't think they can make it back to the planet now, is just some basic realizations. And here's some. Lots of a bad thing is never better than one of a good thing. Lots of a bad thing is never better than one of a good thing. In fact, lots of a bad thing is never good. It's just lots of a bad thing. Here's another way to put it. And this is a funny way that POAs used to put it. 10 ones is not the same as 1 10. Okay, so they add up, right, metrics wise, but that's what the casual dating success, like, you could say 10 10s, or they're like, I'm going to go for 10 10s. All right, the thing is, you're not getting commitment out of any of those. You're not actually able to experience unconditional love fully in any of those. You're not going to actually, with any of those so-called 10s that you got, are not actually going to be able to experience the joy of letting go and fully devoting yourself to this one relationship and this one love, such that you won't be able to experience what it's like to be 5 years in to this unconditional love relationship, right? Because in order for you to be with 10 10s, you'll have to divide your energies between 10. So you're not going to give 10 to each of them. They might be 10s on their own, but you're not, because you have a limited amount of time and energy. You can't give 10 out of 10 to each of those 10. So they're going to get 1 out of 10 from you. So they're really screwed up now. You screwed them up. So 10 ones is not equal to 110. And here's another way to put it that I really like. This is from Rumi, the ancient mystic. Well, it's not ancient, and it was quoted by my friend Henry at my wedding. 1,000 half-loves must be forsaken to take one whole heart home. Now, that's just beautiful. 1,000 half-loves must be forsaken to take one whole heart home. Now, I thought that's just, you never want to explain a joke and you never want to explain poetry. But I've shared this before, and like half the guys are like, what does that mean? Oh, God. Okay, so 1,000 half-loves, obviously these are hookups. These are the compromised situations you find yourself in through optimizing for casual dating success. You can have 1,000 full closes on the pickup artist parlance. You got to give up the next 1,000 in order to take one whole heart home. You don't get to experience one whole heart until you go all in. You put all your chips in on that one. And you don't get to experience the unconditional love and the joy and the peace that comes from that when you're still dipping your toe into all of these other little ponds. All right, I just switched metaphors there. Those are the 1,000 half-loves. That's what you're going to have to give up in order to take one whole heart home. Okay, enough butchering poetry with explanations. So those are the 4 points. This is so important that you get this, because most people don't get this and they end up screwing up their relationships, and they screw them up somewhere around the 6 month to 3 year to 5 year mark, basically when the honeymoon period ends. And then they just stay in it and they have kids. How many of you know a relationship or a marriage where they stayed together too long, or they passed the point at which it was still passionate, but now they got kids, so they got to stay together for the kids, right? And they're basically living a life of quiet desperation. And maybe the father, the husband, has confided in you that they never have sex anymore. All the passion's gone. He's like, oh, I really envy you, your single life, dating all these girls, that kind of thing. And maybe he's stepping out on her and he's sharing that with you. This is super, super common. If you think that the majority of married couples are happy like that, you'd be wrong. Don't become that. Don't think it's that simple, because we're not actually evolved to be happy in long-term relationships that go 10 years or more. We're evolved to stay together long enough for the kid that we made to survive, and that's it. So you actually have to know your own psychology well enough, if that's what you want, the love and joy that comes from that one whole heart that you take home, that you've got to actually invest in yourself for that.